Hey everyone, hope you're well. Owen Carmouth here. As you might know by now, Winter in Eden have released an album called Never Untold, which was released on the 3rd of July 2026. I had the pleasure of recording guitars for 5 of the songs, which are In Plain Sight, The Curse, My Imagination, Show Me and Nobody. So I recorded guitars for those songs. And to do that, I used 7 different guitars for different parts and things. And I just wanted to show you what guitars I used to record this album. So we will start with this one, which is a Solar S1.6 FR BLB. So you can see that. So it's a Solar 1 Series 6 string. So the 1 Series means it's got like the stainless steel frets, the lumen lace side dots, and usually some sort of really nice bridge system. So this one's got a Floyd Rose. You can look up the specs online, but basically, yeah, so this one, I've got this tuned to drop D with 10 to 52 strings to Dario on there. So I use this live in Winter in Eden for all the songs that are tuned to drop D, and the song In Plain Sight is in the key of D. So I used this for the rhythms and the leads and stuff. I used it for nearly everything. However, in the song In Plain Sight, there is a riff in the bridge and in the middle section that's in A. And the guys at Winter in Eden wanted a bit more, wanted like an octave effect, where I do like the A normal, like the normal pitch that you'd find on a guitar, but also one sort of lower. And rather than use an octave effect, I decided to actually play the lower octave. And to do that, I used this, which is a Jackson. I'm not actually sure if this is called a Juggernaut or just an HT7, but anyway, it's the 7-string Misha, so it's a Misha Mansour Signature Pro Series, and it's 7-string. And when I was doing the riff for In Plain Sight, this guitar was tuned to 7-string standard, except the E string, the 6th string, was tuned down to D, and the low B string was tuned down to A. So I did the middle riff and the middle 8. I did the middle 8 riff and the bridge riff on. So I did like layers using this guitar. I also used this guitar on the song Nobody, because Nobody is in the key of E, but needs an extended range for the way some of the riffs are constructed. So I used this just straight standard B standard tuning. But so I used this for the song Nobody. The next guitar I want to talk about is my C guitar. So that's the guitar that's this one. So this is a Solar S1.6 PB. So it's actually very similar to its Floyd Rose, to the Floyd Rose counterpart, apart from this one's got an Evertune bridge on it, and it's a different colour. But aside from that, they're constructed very similar. This one I have tuned to drop C with 11 to 56 strings on it. And I use this live with Winter in Eden for all the C songs. And I used this on the songs The Curse and My Imagination. I used this for the rhythm guitars, a lot of the lead guitars, the solos, some layers, and so on. Yep, so that's that. What else? So let's have a look. You have to excuse the sweating, by the way. We're currently having a heat wave in the UK, and it's pretty warm. So on the song The Curse, there were also some acoustic parts at the beginning and in the middle. And rather than use a simulated sound, I actually used my acoustic guitar, which is a Tanglewood TW-155. This has shown up on a few recordings of mine over the years. I don't really play acoustic guitar all that much, but when I do, it's quite fun. So yeah, that's that. What else to show you? So there were some parts that were clean. Now, when it comes to clean parts, I like doing clean parts on single coils. While my solos do have coil split options, I actually prefer the sound of like a single coil, and I particularly like, say, the Stratocaster, the Strat sound on a single coil with a slightly broken sound and the volume rolled back off. so it kind of cleans up a broken sound, but in a particularly unique way, which is quite unique to Strats. So to do that, I use this, which is a Squire Stratocaster. Now this is a very, very special guitar to me because this is actually my first ever electric guitar. I got this, God, about 30 years ago. And I think it was a few years old at the time. So, and this is a guitar I'd learnt on, and, you know, I've had this with me for my whole, you know, basically, you know, like, not quite my whole life, but as near as makes no difference, my whole life. So I use this for some of the clean parts in songs like Show Me, in songs like My Imagination, Nobody might have had a few. Yeah, so I use this, and I think I used it on like position 2. Like I say, volume roll back off a little bit. It's a really, really nice, like, because I've had the electronics redone like over a few years ago, and I had the guitar refretted and so on, and it sounds amazing. It sounds really, really good. Now the song Show Me is actually in E standard, but doesn't really require any extended range. So I wanted to use a guitar that was locked in E standard. So I used something a bit weird, which you wouldn't necessarily expect for Winter in Eden, but I used this, which is my Solar V1.6 FRC. Why did I use a V? Well, to be honest, because you know, Vs aren't really designed for recording, but the thing is, this guitar sounds ace. It sounds so good. It's my main live guitar for another band that I'm in, Beyond Salvation. But this guitar is in E standard, and it just sounds amazing. Also, it was sat right next to me, so I use this for a lot of for the rhythm guitars and for some of the layers and stuff on the song Show Me. But another guitar that I used on Show Me for some layers and a bit of rhythm stuff was also this, which is my Gibson Les Paul Studio. I only got this last year, but yeah, I used it on some of those parts on that song. I tend to use this one for covers and just for noodling about at home. This is kind of really a guitar I'm not intending to use in a band, it's just for me. But I do covers on it. But yeah, I used it for that song in Winter in Eden. So yeah, I think that's all the guitars. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So those are all the guitars that I used on Winter in Eden's album, Never Untold, which is out now. Available on all streaming platforms, and if you go to winterineden.com and follow the store, you can buy physical copies of it, so check it out.